From ESA's new Ariane 6 taking flight with its first payloads, to newly discovered intermediate mass black holes, and NASA's 378-day simulated Mars mission concluding, we covered a lot of space news this week in our daily 60-second videos. Just in case you missed them, here's an edited summary video of all the stories from the week. Please like and share the videos if you enjoy them, and have a great week. Science update. The new Ariane 6 rocket will make its long-delayed first flight with a payload tomorrow morning from Kourou in French Guiana. The 4-hour launch window opens at 10 a.m. Pacific and marks the end of 10 years of development for ESA by Arianespace. Originally scheduled to launch in 2020, the rocket has been hampered by the COVID-19 pandemic and then by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Tomorrow's launch will put 9 CubeSats into orbit, and ESA hopes the Ariane 6 will be flying up to 12 missions a year by 2026. NASA's WISE space telescope launched in 2009 and started life as a wide-field survey of the sky in infrared light, detecting some of the faintest galaxies seen at that time. Mothballed in 2011, it came out of retirement in 2013 as NEO-WISE and has been hunting objects like comets and asteroids ever since, including those that could pose a threat to Earth. Increased solar activity is causing extra drag on the satellite, and the mission will officially end on July the 31st, with the satellite expected to burn up in the atmosphere later this year or early in 2025. Planet LHS 1140b orbits in the habitable zone of a red dwarf star about 49 light-years from Earth and is one of the closest known habitable zone planets to us. Based on previous observations, this planet was thought to be a mini gas giant, but now astronomers from Canada have used new JWST data to determine the planet is most likely a water world and may have an atmosphere composed of nitrogen much like that of Earth. The water would be locked up in ice, perhaps resembling the snowball planet Hoth from the Star Wars movies, and the researchers point out that significant follow-up observations will be needed to confirm the presence of nitrogen gas. Even with the need for further research, LHS 1140b seems like an exciting candidate for a planet that could potentially support life. Most of us are fascinated by black holes and the mystery that surrounds them. Our current theories of galaxy evolution suggest that black holes in the earliest galaxies start out at a kind of medium size and grow over time to become the supermassive black holes that we see today at the center of galaxies like our Milky Way. The problem is that these intermediate mass black holes are hard to find because the galaxies have either grown out of this phase or they've remained as dwarf galaxies that are very hard to observe. Now astronomers have detected the best candidate for an intermediate mass black hole at the center of the Omega Centauri star cluster. The astronomers searched the velocities of 1.4 million stars in Omega Centauri, looking for those moving with the characteristic high velocity expected near a black hole. They found 7 stars with this telltale signature and were able to infer the presence of a black hole of around 8,200 solar masses. This discovery helps fill in a gap in the observational evidence for our theories of black holes and galaxy evolution. Orbital debris is a major problem in low Earth orbit, and there are many ideas for how to tackle the issue, from cleanup missions to ensuring that future space operations leave zero footprint at the end of their lives. Astroscale Japan's Active Debris Removal by Astroscale Japan, or ADRAS-J satellite, is a demonstration mission that can safely approach, characterize, and survey large pieces of space debris. The company just released this cool new photo of its rendezvous and survey of an old upper stage from a Japanese rocket still in orbit. ADRAS-J is able to autonomously maneuver around the school bus-sized object at a distance of 50 meters, gathering photos and video and assessing its condition. Objects like this were not intended to be docked with or serviced, so they typically have no easy way for debris removal missions to connect to them. This kind of survey work would allow any future debris removal operations to have all the information necessary to successfully grab onto and deorbit large pieces of debris. NASA's Crew Health and Performance Exploration Analog mission came to an end on July the 6th. 4 volunteer crew members spent 378 days in an isolated 1,700 square foot 3D printed habitat on a simulated mission to Mars. The crew faced challenges that might be faced by a team on Mars, such as repairing equipment and communication delays, as well as the day-to-day challenges of growing food, keeping the habitat running, and keeping their spirits up in isolation. The experiences and data gathered during the experiment will be used to guide the development of future long-duration space missions. A Falcon 9 mission suffered anomalies last night and failed to put its payload of Starlink satellites into the correct orbit. According to SpaceX, the second stage engine failed to burn for long enough, meaning the satellite's orbit was too low when they were deployed. SpaceX is attempting to have the satellites raise their orbit using their ion thrusters, but they say there's a low probability of this working.